Yeah, I'm back again. I'm training. Now we do it. But we see where, you know what I'm saying, we see where they're talking about raising the debt. Well, let me tell you something about the debt. The DMV Democrats has raised the debt more than anybody or any president to me in all ways. It ain't just Obama. You know what I'm saying? Obama did it, and so is Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Didn't he say no more taxes and they weren't going to do this and they weren't going to do that? But sitting in your face talking about they're going to borrow $1.9 trillion, to do a Build Back Better plan. I don't see no Build Back Better. I'm still waiting on that. Still waiting on that. But your debt ceiling is still wide open and it's funding a war of a nuclear capacity. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden family is under the protection of the nation's top lawmen. Yeah, the nation's top crooked Luciferians, not kids Baphomet worshiper, not kids politically in our government. This is what I'm saying. These tenants got to go. You know what I'm saying? Because these sit up here with these butt kissers and followers and cover these dangerous things that they're doing to our country and so forth on. Even when we look at researchers investigating whether COVID-19 lockdown and greasings are complements uh, of substitutes. You know what I'm saying? Of substitutes, according to this report. But you know what I'm saying? Of substitutes. Was a complement or a substitute? The worldwide. And this is coming in by, I guess, the Down PC review, Megan Gregg or whatever. You know what I'm saying? May 30th, 2023. We see worldwide one of the initial response to the COVID-19 virus was locking down parts of the economy to reduce social interactions and the virus and the spread of the virus. Now, the development and production of grease have largely replaced, broad lockdowns. In a new study that considers epidem, ep, epidem, ep, 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 epidemiology, or whatever they call it, and economics, epidemiology and economics researchers sought to determine how the arrival of greasing should affect the duration and intensify of lockdown policies. They concluded that the boosting the rates of grease use influence intensify during the lockdown depends on the variety of factors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We see FBI won't hand over documents requested by a committee, Coleman says. Oh, yeah, they won't hand it over. We definitely know that. You know what I'm saying? We see man has claimed to have experienced a heart attack and journey to hell. Shocking revelations of a afterlife. Okay. hmm We see videos of Joe Biden response to potential Trump pardons, viewed 1 million times. Yeah, pardon. Y'all, what you do is set Trump up to put him in the hands of these clowns, and so y'all could swing this thing around while the damage and the stuff that's going on in Ukraine still seems to be going on. You know what I'm saying? And we see no end to that situation. We see millions of lives later. You know what I'm saying? Millions of lives later, I cannot forgive what terrorism did to my country, Iraq. You know what I'm saying? And they did. You know what I'm saying? And they did. The early, this is coming in by the Guardian. No name on it, of course. Try to hide the name. But we see here where in early 2023, I was living in Cairo and carrying out research for my uh, doctoral dissertations on a famous Iraq poet. I think I read this one before, who lived in my hometown, Baghdad, in 10th century BC. I think I read this one before, and he said he can't forgive them for what they did to his country, but look what they did to his country. You know what I'm saying? And look what they're doing to many countries. It ain't just Iraq. Look at what they did to Egypt and Africa as a whole. We see Harala calls on Creep Joe Biden to pardon Trump like Ford pardoned Nixon. You know what I'm saying? In exchange for a pledge to never run again. No, that's bullshit. We don't want no pardon, and we don't want Harala talking about none of this bullshit. You need to go back and get bow down before the Luciferian big ass statue you go over there in Mexico in that church over there. You know what I'm saying? Where you will suck some blood and get out of our government and take your Georgie bundle, bags and everything else and get the hell on. Trump is gonna stay right in the position he is, and he ain't bowing down for no one. And that goes for any black person or anybody who steps up and tries to become a president of the United States. You're not just going to be able to drive them off thinking that because you demon Democrats want to stay in power with your New World Order having jackass, you know what I'm saying? This is coming in by Jennifer Bowers Bethany 7 hours ago Eastern Standard Time coming off the media. But we see Geraldo nutcase behind talking about, you know what I'm saying, some pardon for Trump if he promised not to run for presidency. If I was Trump, I wouldn't even take that deal. And I wouldn't even want nobody to pardon me because, you know what I'm saying, who needs to be pardoned is creep Joe Biden ass up out of our government along with Geraldo and the rest of the demon Democratic squad, Obama, Hillary Clinton, the Clintons, Bush, all the way to Nixon and Albert Pike. You know what I'm saying? And any fuck Republican that has crossed party lines who have been sitting in the Republican Party and have been playing on the demon Democratic side for all these years in order to keep us just going back and forth and nothing seems to be solved. You know what I'm saying? Talking about reparations and all kinds of nonsensical garbage. Mayor Cuba, Greasy Head Adam brought 60 migrants to other parts of New York and gets mixed. Yeah, you're going to get plenty of mixed reactions. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, we see a lot of this going on. You see migrants selling food in the subway. You know, Fox News, Kennedy said there is a special place in hell for people like uh, Sonny Houston who don't support other women. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about health, but I don't follow that piece of garbage. McCarthy threatens Wary with contempt of concealing Creep Joe Biden $5 billion bribery. Oh, no. We see he's still doing a drag performance and story hours set for Albany in June. They got caught that up. What are you teaching our kids when you do that? You're having this person come in as a man dressed as a woman teaching kids. How is that reality? And where's the realisticness in what they're doing, talking about some storytelling? So you're using storytelling to try to swindle and start from the feeble age of their mind frame to convince them into something that ain't true. So the whole world must go down the road with this. This is what it seems like to me that you're trying to do with your manifesto that you wrote several years ago, driving Obama into office and having him sign the deal. Don't give me that bull. And then you've been running with this, getting $40 million and shit, and they're paying you to go out there and do this nonsense. And you know full well that this is straight up Luciferian and chaoticness. Don't give me that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When we look at it, though, we see, you know what I'm saying, that the 5 million bribe tip, you know what I'm saying? We see House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, while he drove a war in Ukraine that's supposed to be a nuclear war, and all these nations are ramping up and posturing up against the United States, while you have 30 something other nations supposed to be backing you up. Like those 34 nations of NATO gonna save your behind when they shoot a nuclear weapon. The only person can cool that down right now, my friend, is Donald J. Trump. You know what I'm saying? But we see how Kevin McCarthy said Tuesday it will lead and it would lead an effect it would lead an effort to hold the FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress if he refuses to share an information file accusing Creep Joe Biden of being a part of a $5 million bribery scheme while he was vice president. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, they're gonna cover all his behind. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're gonna cover all his behind. You know what I'm saying? You know, we see Creep Joe Biden on Memorial Day lose generations of fallen troops who who dare all and give all. I see Creep Joe Biden disgracing that Memorial Day march in front of those soldiers and so on and so on, a complete disgrace to our country. You know what I'm saying? As far as demon Democratic people are concerned, to me, you're a complete disgrace. And that goes for Republicans too, who sit up there and follow right behind these demon Democrats with their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say. You know? I don't care what nobody say. You know? They sit up there talking about he marching with this and that. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's very crazy. We see another one coming in here, which is a high concern that people better pay close attention to and hurry up and get on that bandwagon. It's iRobot. You know what I'm saying? America, uh, 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 Mecca's brutal response. 60 Minutes reporters. You know what I'm saying? Tim Steinford. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it's moving. AI is moving pretty fast, isn't it? And if people don't get their head together, they're gonna move right. They're gonna roll right over their ass as well. You know what I'm saying? We see head of the RT calls for Lindsey Graham assassination after edit video. We ain't got time for that. We need to get them out of government, though. It would help. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, we need to get them out. You know, we need to get them out. You see Americans who move away from the U.S. to another country. I want to know what you miss most. I ain't miss a damn thing. We need to get this country straight and straighten it the hell on up and stop playing around and be naive Americans as if shit's gonna work itself out or gonna work out in the hands of these beasts. You know what I'm saying? These crooked people who you think is gonna work it out, they're gonna work it out to where they're gonna work them robots, and that gonna be your last and final fight after you decide to wipe out every black person and every other person that is poor and don't fit in your elite classes and so on and so on, and they start rebelling against the nonsense that you have been doing. Now all of a sudden it's going to come to the point where you're going to use the robots because that's all you're going to have left to protect their behinds. You know what I'm saying? We see experts reports that Trump lawyers was misled about Mar-a-Lago search could be bad news for Trump. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it could be bad news for us, but nobody care about no Mar-a-Lago and no reports. You know what I'm saying? When we even look at this situation, who the hell is going to go down the road with this? Talking about reports that Trump lawyers was misled. That Trump lawyers was misled about Mar-a-Lago search could be bad news for Trumpy baby. You know what I'm saying? This is coming in like Ed Gordon, you know what I'm saying, Dreyfus, 15 hours ago, whatever his name is, coming off the saloon. You know what I'm saying? Well, we see the President of the United States, Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, attorney Evan Cor, Coran, you know, told associates that he was waved off from searching Trump's Mar-a-Lago office, where FBI found files, documents suggesting he was uh, materially misled by the President of the United States team, according to The Guardian. You know, everybody gonna come up with all kinds of accusations about this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like as if the documents meant anything. You know what I'm saying? Creep Joe Biden had more, him and Bush had more documents taken out of the White House than ever before. And on top of that, on top of them talking about some documents, they blew them up in the World Trade Center and the small buildings next to it. And then blew up the side of the Pentagon, where probably had all the files that they wanted to hide anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then pushed us into a war all at the same time because, like I said, they're known for knocking out two and three birds with one stone. So we need to start looking at this, you know what I'm saying? But we see GOP oversight chairs to launch contempt proceedings against FBI director, and they need to get it against his ass for real. You know what I'm saying? Look who's back in the news, Liz Cheney. You know, booed. She was booed during a commemorative speech at Alma Mater. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is she died. Give hope. You know what I'm saying? It's coming by Anna Skinner on 5/29, uh, 5/29/23 at 5:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? But we see the Liz Nutcase Cheney, you know what I'm saying, didn't have a warm welcome, you know, when she traveled to Colorado College to give commemorates address to her alma mater on Sunday. Who gives a flying crap? Cheney, who was creepy Cheney, I call her. She's very creepy. You know what I'm saying? Along with the creep Joe Biden squad. I see why they all click together so well. Who was ousted from her Wyoming seat in August after a turbulent few years in Congress, has lost a lot of support from Republican Party for opening criticism, you know, against the President of the United States or President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, yeah, baby, after the U.S. Capitol riots, you know what I'm saying, on January 6th. There go that 6 again. You know what I'm saying, 2021. She was removed from her position as the third ranking Republican within the House, you know what I'm saying, of Representatives after voting after voting to impeach the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, yeah, baby, you know, for his alleged involvement in an insurrection that she had in imagination in her mind. You know what I'm saying? Cheney also served as one of the only Republicans on the House Select Committee that investigated the riot with former Representative Adam Kinzinger. Two crooks in one boat. Don't forget, we knew about your father, Cheney, you know what I'm saying, when he shot that man in the woods, talking about he made a mistake, that the man wouldn't go along with the war that you were trying to chump up along with Bush, crooked ass, and Tony Blair. And then you got a nerve to be out there talking about walking out there commemorating soldiers and memorial. Bush and all of them, including Biden and the rest of them, was all involved in all of that political nonsense that we saw going on. Tony Blair should be in jail and hanged for treason, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Especially over in England. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see how in the world did they get away with that in the first place that caused many, many lives to be lost, many American lives as well. You know what I'm saying? And then try to justify it in the matter of saying that it was this person, this group, and that group, and blame every other group except Bush crooked ass. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said before, and I'll say it again, they act as if, like, you know, these people do nothing wrong. They act as if, like, they can do no wrong, and you can't see the wrong that they do because it's always leading outward to do something to someone else. You know what I'm saying? And they come up with all kinds of accusations. Like, for instance, you know, the accusation talking about mustard gas and nuclear weapons and all this different stuff when the people didn't even have none. They had been, like the plan said, abandoning nuclear plants a long time ago because if they were developing nuclear weapons and mustard gas and all this commie terrorist shit that y'all was talking about, you know what I'm saying, they would have been getting the support they need, or they would have been had it, you know, more established, talking about they were enriching uranium using yellow mustard gas looking thing to which the Iranians went over. They took it out and threw it all on the ground and took a picture of it and said, see, the Iraqis are Afghanistan or the Iraqis over here developing nuclear weapons. You know what I'm saying? After somebody went over there, just threw it on the ground. See, these are the things they do. Same as they took the pictures of saying that Donald J. Trump put the people in cages and had them in cages like in Germany just before, in the Gestapo camps and all of this and that and this and that and the third, when that wasn't true. But they took a picture, and that picture speaks for what? More than 1,000 words, because once they put it on their media site, and their media site falls for the bullshit that they do, you know what I'm saying? The regular people out here who go to work every day don't really do no research, don't really get into it. They just see what they see, and then they get convinced by whatever is said on the media, such as we all do. You know what I'm saying? But I don't take it at face value, because I know for well there's always a chance to be corrected or wrong in the situation. But a lot of people don't do that. They want to be right all the time. They want it to be right on their side and everything, and nobody can say nothing, and nobody can prove anything to them, because and then when you prove that the truth to them, they still try to get around it and say something else. Oh yeah, that's Photoshop. But how we know that your shit ain't Photoshop? You know what I'm saying? So we always have a potential to be stand corrected. But when we look at a lot of these government officials, they don't want to be corrected. They want to go out and do some shit like what Bush did with the World Trade and chumped up this fake ass war with Tony Blair. You know what I'm saying? And he over there ramping his people up, saying that this and that and the third. And from what we see, for it to even give the money, and then when that didn't probably work, that's when he blew up the World Trade Center. He blew up the Pentagon, and they blew up the small building next to the Twin Towers. You know what I'm saying? All the buildings that would have records to show the garbage on which they were doing for many, many years probably. You know what I'm saying? They tried to cover that all up. You know what I'm saying? And by it being even such a drastic situation, we looked at the facts of how the building then fell, and we see that the building didn't fall in no shape or form based on any natural occurrence or any plane running into it and causing it to collapse. How the building collapsed was too perfect, so that gave that away. Then we looked at the other situation of the beams that were there, and the beams were cut by something or the other, you know what I'm saying, in a very diagonal move. So we know from where that Bush chumped this whole shit up, you know what I'm saying, and Biden and Creepy Joe and Obama and others knew about this shit as well, too. They know what took place. Don't think because he just came on the scene talking about a black man, you know what I'm saying, he's a crooked son of a gun. You know what I'm saying, and the worst president probably we ever had. Right? According to many of them. But I'll put it to you this way: Obama might be one of the worst in this time of ours, but going back many years, and you know what I'm saying, even Bush, that was one of the worst presidents I've ever seen. Talking about Obama, Obama just as worse or even worse, or he was worse and just a worse too. You know what I'm saying? They're all their presidents on the demon Democrat side have not been straight in no shape or form. All they did was corrupt, cause death, and enrich their pockets at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And show us a bunch of fake ass moves that convince a lot of people to be following behind them. My question is, why is you still following behind them when you know full well they're destroying your country and they're about to destroy you? You know what I'm saying? And you still can't see it. You still talking about how you gonna love this and love that. Well, I hope the asylum seekers who come over here understand that the American people cannot tolerate no war on this land right now, whether you come from Mexico or Trejico. You know what I'm saying? We're not in that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And we have to start facing that fact, and we have to start stepping up for Americans all around. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you running out there listening to them. You haven't proved anything. You haven't shown anything. You haven't proved to you anything. They'll tell you. They'll say this. They just did this. Show you a few things over here and a few things, and you jump like a jackrabbit. You know what I'm saying? A jackass, really, and run out there and do some shit that you should not have done. And now a lot of people are, when we walk by them, we even could smell it. You know what I'm saying? So when we smell it, we know that it cannot all be the same smell. It's coming from the same group. You know what I'm saying? So we know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And many people are now beginning to understand the situation. But the problem with that is too late. It's too late. You know what I'm saying? And then he's sitting up there talking about how many people they do this and how many people do that. You know what I'm saying? And trying all kinds of games and trickery and bullshit and brought about that. Now, on top of that, you still got hit with that. You got hit now. You got hit with a nuclear war on the blast. You know, they're talking about nuclear war with Korea and these people over Taiwan, the Ukraine. You see how they do shit? This is the demon Democrat works. And because they know that the people are catching up on that bullshit, you know what I'm saying, they figure they'll drop one on you, you know what I'm saying, and that'll help keep you in your place. And then also at the same time, you know what I'm saying, have these trickeries and games and shit to make you believe that everything they're doing was so right and everybody else was so wrong. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying that everybody else is so right. You know what I'm saying? People could always be wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's a point. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the demon Democrats and many of this crookedness that been going on, even the Republicans that have accused in history of doing a lot of shit to black people as well. Once they got the black people out of the Republican Party and took it over, it wasn't no singing, dancing, happy Joe Lucky. You know what I'm saying? They still was doing garbage. You know what I'm saying? And swaying the minds of people. One thing they're good for is swaying the minds of their own people into garbage. Even if their own people don't go along with it, they still have to live amongst them. So of course, in 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go along with it anyway because they don't want to see him like an outcast to their own society because they decide to side against the wrong. You know what I'm saying? In the trueness of wrong, and bring forth the right. You know what I'm saying? We see that it's always one that has to come out and change the game to make them understand or say certain things, and then they leave. You know what I'm saying? But we know full well that when it comes down to a lot to do with the even Democrats, they have corrupted the minds of people. They have lied to the people. They have falsified. They do just like the wickedness in the Bible. They show you illusions. You know what I'm saying, and confusion. You know what I'm saying. But what American people need to do is, first of all, organize and then centralize and have a powerful movement that will protect the American way of interest over what they're trying to do. Because what they're trying to do now is to collapse that and have a new set of kind of people, coming in here, breeding up and doing all kinds of stuff. And before you know it, you know what I'm saying, I'll breed your behind because you decided to not listen, not do no research, not look into anything else, and everything that was said is always conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? As if you're a naive little child and don't and believe in your mind that nothing that is said or done, you know what I'm saying, by these beasts, you know what I'm saying, is wrong. Everything is right. You know what I'm saying? Everything is right. So you justifying wrong, you know what I'm saying, to give these wrongful individuals the power to stay in power, to keep on doing what they're doing and passing the baton. And you don't see anything wrong with the flooding of our country or the whole of South America, 9 point something billion, 4.8 billion, another 80,000, another 40,000, and then talking about the numbers drop. No numbers ain't dropped. They're already in the country already. So if the numbers drop is because, you know what I'm saying, you're dumping all these people in here. You know what I'm saying? Talking about asylum. See, how are they asylum? So what was going on in their country that 4.9 billion people migrated to the United States and well, not migrated, but ran from their country. You know what I'm saying? Claiming all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? And ran over here. You know what I'm saying? Calling themselves or seeking asylum. That's bullshit. The same thing they did in the old Russia. If you remember the story of the old Russia, the same thing happened. A lot of Russians end up coming here to America, you know what I'm saying, and being pushed over here. And a lot of those people are killers, murderers, and corrupted, you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes to black people. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be very careful about what's going on as black people in our country right now. You know what I'm saying? You need to step up and start to be owners and this and that and have stores and entrepreneurship instead of sitting up there talking about some gangster killing and blowing each other brains out and all kind of murderous garbage going on continuously and hatred and all this different stuff to the point where y'all can't even get together to think of a goddamn greasy spoon. You know what I'm saying? And it's a damn shame that black people even have that kind of animosity after our ancestors shed blood for your freedom. You know what I'm saying? So you could run around here and make those panty any statement. Oh, you know, you can't get black people to get together because, you know, they kill each other and they murder and they don't forget this and they don't forget that. And then, well, you need to start to forget it because you're going to cause yourself to be in a bad position in time to come. And now that fault would not be lying on no other race that you claim is oppressing and systematically putting this together. It'll be you who calls it upon yourself. And what soldiers you will have on the battlefield if that's true. So that means you prepared the balls late. But at the same time, you ain't gonna have no soldiers. You been killed them off. Talking about Iraq and this neighborhood and that neighborhood and blowing people's brains out, just walking up to them and shooting them and killing them for no reason. What troops you gonna have? You feeding off your own people. So what troops are you gonna have? You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, AI gonna outdo you anyway if they were to put that together against your ass. You think you could build? You think you could breed as fast as a robot can build a robot? Why are you running on the streets with a Draco in your hand looking like a banshee? Talking about a Draco. You know what I'm saying? Every time you rap, you're rapping about a Draco and showing hundreds of guns and shit like that as a single person. You got a whole blueprint guns and everything, and you just one person talking about, I'm gonna get these niggas and that, and all that shit, all talking about a nigga. Why are you doing that? And following behind these rappers with the same bullshit. Every time you rap about violence against a black person. I even was going back to the boom bap era. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta cut that out because the negativity against black people is not warranted. We are first raised people on this planet and one of the most intelligent, brightest people on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't get to the moon without us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they have to come to black people for many things that they don't want to talk about. They want to hide it in history, in his story. You know, he gonna suppress the truth anyway. You know what I mean? But this is Point Black saying we had a nice time. We gonna rap and we can get it right. We need to come together and think about the things we said unite. Not uniting each other's toilet and bathroom and in your house. You know, cause that non-cynical racist piece of garbage them southern boys was running talking about before you know it, they're gonna be in your house, and before you know it, they're gonna be with your daughter, and before you know it, they're gonna be this, and they're gonna take away your jobs. And that's bullshit. Stop running that piece of shit. This is not the time to be naive and stupid. This is a time to be thinking very wise and very smart. So this is Point Black saying, farewell. One, we will meet again.